I did a lot of sine theta when I was studying mathematics, and I know how to do it very well. But I was not able to understand where to use it. It's not only my story. It's a story of a lot of people out there who does good math, but they don't know where to use it. It's the same way. I know how it means to be poor. And I've talked to a lot of people who are poor. So I was able to understand much deeper. I can empathize with them as well. But if you are not poor, you will not be able to realize what it means to be poor. Okay? So there's a difference. There's a difference between knowing, understanding, and realizing. And once you get to know about it, you will start building a lot of relevance while doing things that you are doing in your life. And eventually you will realize that it's all about building a thought process. Okay? But the biggest problem is that we are so much locked inside our own thought process. Our limited perspective becomes our clarity or our certainty in uncertain situations. Let me give you an example. Everybody watched the movie 3 Idiots, many of you. So there is a character which was a fiance of Kareena Kapoor, right? And Amir Khan says about him that he did an engineering, then he did an MBA, and then he started working in bank. And if he wanted to work in bank, why he did engineering, right? And many of us don't have an opportunity, don't have a clarity when we choose our graduation, right? And it's a lot of confusion that go on. But then you need to bring one strong clarity, that you need to bring a very solid perspective around it. So let me give you one. So that guy knew that engineering was a wrong choice for him. It was a mistake. And then he decided not to carry that mistake for a lifetime. Many people carry their mistake for so long that they don't remember that even that was a mistake. Okay? According to one research, 68% of people ended up doing a job they don't like. So that guy didn't choose to carry the mistake of engineering, and they did an MBA. And then he worked into banking and he did really well. He was earning a lot of money and he may be happy as well. This is just another perspective about a situation or a person. There can be many different perspectives around it. Now, let me give you an example of an entire perspective about a generation. Okay. So when I was young, and you must be feeling as well, our generation was not taken seriously. Our opinions were not taken seriously. We considered as we are not mature, we are not considerable, we don't take life seriously, and a lot of things that were coming as a tab to our generation. But in a conference, I met a lady who was writing on a board, and he wrote a wrong spelling. And then I was laughing on her, and then she got another wrong spelling, and I laughed like anything. Because from where I come, it's more about speaking right English, correcting the right grammar, being on a right pronunciation stopped us so much that we never try to speak English, and we always think about what people think, right? But this lady wrote another spelling as a wrong spelling, okay? And then I was laughing, and she asked that who noticed that there is a wrong spelling in the board, and I raised my hand. And when I looked on both the sides, I realized that everybody's hands were raised, so all realized. Since he said that if you want to work with the generation Y, which they called us, and it's WHY, generation Y, then you need to accept few things about them. So they have spelling mistake syndrome, check. They have copy paste syndrome, check. Then they are anti-authority, check. They need recognition, and they need recognition right now, check. So there are so many things that I learned about the generation. And she said that if you want to work with this generation, you need to first accept them. And if you learn how to deal with them, this is the highest productive generation ever that existing in the world. And that changed my perspective about an entire generation. And since then, I kept on changing my perspective. So this was all about building a different perspective on building our own thought process by thinking in that direction. Now let's focus on that. If you or anyone wants to achieve X, if this is the X, then there are a lot of constraints that are there to achieve the X. But when everybody think of achieving X in constraint, there are two kinds of people. One kind of people who don't have a thought process of building clarity, and there is another set of people who have a thought process of building clarity. Okay. Now, what happens with the people who don't have a thought process of building clarity when they are at a constraint? Okay, so they're at a constraint. So there are three things that happens when they are at that stage. So one is escaping, second is switching, and third is stuck. Okay, let me bring you an example. So I made a startup. The startup founder says that, sir, if I get funding, I'll rock the world. So I just asked him that, how much fund do you want? Where you use that fund? What do you do with this money? If you spend that money, where you will spend it? What will be the division of spending money? What is the probability of getting success out of it? How much business that you will generate? And that guy had no clarity. Okay, and I did this exercise in a repetitive mode. I met a lot of people who wants to raise fund, but they don't have clarity on how much to raise fund, to do what, where they'll spend the money. They don't have milestones. They don't have clarity on spending money. They just stuck at raising money and waiting for it. Second example, it's about switching. Okay, a girl thought of changing the education scenario on the ground. So she felt that I need to start in college, which gives a realistic education beyond the theoretical and bookish education. Okay, more of a practical education that she wanted to build in. And she made a thought process of starting a college. But while processing it, somebody comes in and says that, hey, now we have a network of people who are trustees of schools and colleges. Why don't we think of starting a canteen in any of the college? And that girl might say that, oh, I don't have problem. It seems a good business. And then they end up starting a franchisee of canteen. And there is a probability of they starting a canteen, the hostel business as well. And maybe something else too. Which means that the thought process was not on building a clarity. That's why they stuck at a constraint and somebody comes in and then switch you from what you are supposed to do, right? And the third kind of people is that who choose escapism. Okay, and one more example. So a guy and a girl fall in love. The girl says that my family might say no to us because XYZ reasons. And they say that we'll deal with it. And years goes by. And a girl says to her family that I want to marry this guy, and the family says no. And they don't fight much, okay? And they end up marrying to somebody else. So it's about escaping at a constraint. Okay, and this is not a story. This is a story of so many people where a family says no and they go on a separate routes. So it's all about somebody who doesn't have a thought process of constraint. What happens is people come, they put their thoughts, they put their advice, and they influence your X. Because you don't have a thought process of building clarity and you're at a constraint, people come, give input, give advice, and then they influence your X, which eventually you want to achieve. Now there is another set of people. Yeah? Now it's all about people who have thought process of building clarity. Now you must be thinking that how to do that, how to crack it every time. So we have a very strong theory and a very solid structure that imagine that you want to go on a world tour. Okay, going on a world tour is your X, and there might be a lot of constraints. Okay, and the constraint can be permission can be a constraint, and an exam can be a constraint, money can be a constraint. There can be 20 list of constraints that you can think of. That if 18-year-old guy wants to go on a world tour, what are the constraints? Okay. Now, the entire solid process of doing it is that first you need to imagine that there is no constraint. Okay, it's a power of imagination. It's a very beautiful way of dealing with constraints when building a thought process of building clarity and focusing on the X. So, if money is constrained, and then you need to imagine that $1 million in your account. So then what you will do is you will focus on going deeper to achieve X, which means you will figure out which countries you want to visit, why you want to visit those countries, when you will go, which are the best season to go to those countries, which are the best places to visit, which flights to take on, for how many days they should go for, which hotel you will stay. If you are a vegetarian, you will think about which restaurants you will eat. So you'll actually plan very much in detail and you try to bring your clarity that if money comes, how I will able to achieve my X, right? If you want to raise a fund, you need to do the same way. Okay. So first you imagine it, you go deeper into it and build a solid clarity on how to achieve X. Now the only missing link is money. Okay. Now you go back there. You again see that money is a constraint. Okay. So money is there as a constraint. You need to accept it. And then if you have a thought process of if you don't have a thought process of not having clarity, you will not escape, you will not stuck, you will not switch, you will pivot. And that is where the pivoting comes in picture. So you will take a different route to go on a world. Okay, you might end up doing that kind of a job You might end up doing some kind of fellowship. You might go for an exchange program when you are young. So there are so many probability and possibility that you will find on the way. Okay, but first, quick, if it is a constraint, imagine that is not a constraint and plan till death to achieve X. And second, see that constraint exists and find a different pivoting process, focusing on X, not on the constraint. So when you have a thought process of clarity, that kind of a people don't stuck on constraint, don't stay on constraint, they focus on the X, they focus on the outcome that they want to achieve. Okay, now this is about you. Imagine that you are clear, you know exactly what to do, and some kind of gaps are okay, but you have a thought process of bringing clarity, and that will take you ahead. It's not on people, it's you who decide what to do and what not to do. But when you're dealing with people, okay, there might be a probability that it's somebody who is having a thought process of not building a clarity, and there is somebody who have a process of building a clarity. Okay, if both have don't have a process of building clarity, it's not a problem much. If both have a process of building a clarity, it's again not a problem much. But if one have a process of clarity and one don't have a thought process of building clarity, then there is a conflict exists. Okay, imagine you are going to a jungle to see the lion for X particular time, and your car got punctured in between. If both are a constraint focused people, they'll focus on repairing the car. Okay, if both have a clarity on the outcome, not on the constraint, they'll figure out how to reach there to see the lion. But if one is a constraint focus and one is an outcome focus, one wants to go to jungle and one wants to repair the car, and there is going to be conflict. So whether you are in a family or your friends, you are doing business partnerships, you just need to focus that either somebody should have a thought process of building clarity, or you need to help them to build a thought process of clarity. Okay, just to share, I come from a very small town. I'm born and brought up in a very small town in Gujarat. It's way beyond tier 2 as well. You can call it tier 3 or tier 4 to a certain extent. I'm born and brought up in a small town. I have studied in a vernacular language. I was a very average student throughout my life. But one amazing thing that I did is I made a list of 68 dreams and wild dreams. Okay? And wild dreams are very, very important in that aspect because that help you to change the perspective. So I made a list of 68 dreams and wild dreams, and I thought that I'll not be able to achieve over the period of a birth or maybe a next birth. Those kind of wild dreams where they're like, meeting presidents and prime ministers of 5 countries, meeting 10 ambassadors of different countries, meeting 5 terminology founders, going to Antarctica and staying there for a couple of weeks, meeting big business tycoons from all over the world, that to be 5, to be very specific, going to Pakistan, start or have 20 companies. And there is so many things that I made a very crazy list of dreams and wild dreams. And getting married was also one of the dream or wild dream, however you say it. Because being a mechanical engineer, there was a question mark that whether you get married or not. Just kidding. But what happened with time is that I was able to, so again, I'm not boosting, I'm not putting spotlight on me, I'm just conveying that I was able to achieve 90% of them in first 5 years, which I thought I'd not be able to achieve in this birth. Okay, and then I started spending more time on figuring these things out, and I found a hack which I just shared with you sometime before, and then I'm practicing it again and again. And I've talked to lot many people that they were able to achieve to do the same thing. Okay, and just to share few that now I have traveled to a lot of countries in the world. Many times I paid for my flights and hotels. I travel to so many countries. I work with people from more than 40 countries. I have networking 100 plus countries. Let me reframe it. I met people from 100 plus countries. I have my own portfolio of 20 companies. Right now I'm sitting on a board of some of the accelerators and incubators in UK, USA, Sri Lanka, in European belt as well, in Southeast Asian country, in Korean program. So I'm sitting there as an advisor board with this many countries across the world. And so many things that happened in life, which people think it is impossible to do. And I was able to do it as early as I can because of this thought process of having a clarity only. And that helped me to get a lot of things. about the marriage dream, just to share, I ended up marrying a very beautiful girl. I'm a vernacular guy. I'm a Gujarati medium student. I ended up marrying to an English medium student. Very beautiful. She's NRI. Why I'm sharing is just a small motivation for all the mechanical engineer out there and all the people who are coming from a vernacular background out there. If you are not confident, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's just a joke for it. It was just fun. But to conclude, let me give you 7 things that you can take big. So one is travel as much as you can, virtually or physically, and learn one thing from everyone you meet in life and try to put it on paper. Okay. Second, you always remember that your dreams can be wild dreams and reality of a lot of people. Your wild dreams can be dreams and reality of a lot of people. But your reality can be a dream. And your reality can be a wild dream of a lot of people. One girl in a small town says that my wild dream is to go to college. Okay. So second thing that I want to tell you is be grateful for your reality and enjoy wild dreams. Literally enjoy wild dreams and be grateful for your reality. Don't take approval from people and system for who you are and who you want to be. Don't ever take approval from them. And if you have a thought process of clarity, it doesn't matter what people think about you and what people say about you. It doesn't matter at all. Next is don't lock yourself inside your own thought process. Build your own original character, build your own original thought process. The fifth one is build a character in which your intentions, your thoughts, and your actions be in the sync. And it's a beautiful journey. I never lied since last almost 11 years. I exactly remember what I lied before 11 years. And if anybody that we recruit in our company, we just say this very simple, that you don't need to lie for lifetime. We will try to be most open-minded people in the world, and it's not difficult not to lie, but it will help you. So build a character that way. Focus on the X, okay, not on the constraint. Okay, focus on the X. Now you know the hack of building a thought process of clarity. And just to close it at that, building X is not important. Achieving X is not important. It's all about thinking in advance what you'll do once you'll reach to your X. Thank you very much. Have fun. It was amazing meeting you guys. Thank you.